Alright, welcome back to Morning Live. Right now I want to touch base on matters brand visibility. As a young man, you've started your business and you really don't know how you can actually now maybe maneuver through to make your brand this conspicuous big brand. Trust me, there's a way out. And of course in studio, I'm joined by Mr. Paul Thani, who's a brand coach at Mindshift. He'll be telling us more about now how you can maneuver, as I mentioned, to be one of the leading brands in this country. Karibu sana Bwana Paul.
Thank you, sir.
Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Karibu sana.
Yeah.
Now, brand visibility in business, we always think first thing that comes into your mind is capital.
Yes.
Yeah. Then of course you do your recce assessment, location and everything.
Yeah.
Then your business starts. Then the first month you're in a kali. You don't know what to do. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Of course you've registered everything, business name.
Yeah.
You've had the certificate. Of course you've registered now the detailed one, certificate of incorporation. You have everything, but your brand, man, your brand is just idle. So from this young man who's just started, advice. The first advice.
Lack of capital is not the reason businesses don't kick off, but lack of reputation. I want to share with you a reputation formula. A reputation formula is results times reach is equals to reputation. How so? The results is what you've done in life, what you've done for yourself, what you've done for your clients, what have you done for the industry as per se. So the totality of the things you've done, the totality of the impact you've made, multiply it by reach. How many people know about this? Do we have 1,000 people under your name? Do we have 200 people under your name? Then that is the reputation that you have. So once you have, and you've been working on the results, because that's where the work is. Because I believe you just don't wake up and say, I just want to do this business. You've done your research. You've understood the ins and outs. There's a way you can pull your history into it in terms of the CV and what you've worked on. So these results that you have, if the times here, the reach goes to zero, if no one knows about you, even if you have the solution for cancer, even if you have the solution for any problem that is imminent to humanity at the moment, and no one knows about it, your reputation is zero. You don't need money to have results. As a young man, when you seated there, what value can you start creating? What education can you start giving people? Can you show people how to make better slides? Can you show people you're maybe in the construction industry? So
it boils down to uniqueness.
Yes. That's what we call the UVP, the unique value proposition. Most of the time we look when we think of creating a unique business, we always look outwards. What color can we use? What theme? What location can we have? But your unique value proposition is what can you combine backwards? Because believe me, me and you, we can try to create one company here with the same kind of setup and tools. But what you bring to the table as an individual, the kind of life you've been living, the kind of reachability you've had. If you bring that, your CV, what is in your CV, your network, your influence, if you put it on the table, believe me, that's unique. That's the way we relate with the product in a unique way. That's the identity that resonates with the product. And being a young person, remember, if you're starting a business, it means you're at the tip of the spear. So now we start talking about personal development.
Interesting. Now, uniqueness. Jamaa amefungua pale biashara ya, for example, bookshop. Let's use a bookshop. You're selling the same books, same prices, same publishers. Everything's just the same. Even the colors, the interiors, everything the same. But you've mentioned this aspect of being different. Now, how can this young man who is competing with this kind of an experienced guy who's been in the business game for quite some time, who is comfortable because he has or she has a consistent clientele. You've just started. How, of course, price really matters, but still, how can now that cutting edge whereby now I need to be competitive, let alone the pricing?
When you talk about creating something unique, I look at it creating value. What can I come to get from you even after I've made a sale? Have you never gone to a kinyozi and the services, my friend, ni 500 ama ni 200 kama kawaida? You know, it's the same price.
But the
service, they talk to you. They help you open up. Coffee.
I think
job
is it extra sale services?
after sale service, extra sale service. But my question is, after the sale, what reason have you given this person to come back to you? If you find that reason, it could be educating and enlightening. This young guy you're talking about, you're enlightening them more about the books, the publishers.
Yeah.
What else will they need for the next class? What else have they left? Have you gone a step ahead and gotten all the book list from the schools around there?
Okay.
And so when they come, they're like, ukona book list, unataka gani? So you get very specific because you've invested more. So even when someone, like now we're in a new education, we are rolling out a new curriculum. When they come and they find that depth and knowledge about you, won't you go back there? You see? So the value is what can make someone come back after they made the value. And even in the business, the bigger business setup, it's not just about sales, because we have them entirely. There are two sales strategies that marketing strategies that are always playing out there. There's the sales marketing and there's the value-based marketing. The sales marketing is when you get to a website and the first thing you get is item, price. What do you feel when you get there? You feel this person just wants to sell. This person is after money. But what if when I walk into your website, I find solutions to the problems I have? So the kind of solutions that you portray to me there, then that is the reason I'll come back. Because I feel even after buying, let's say you're just selling a car, you show me how to wash it. How do I take care of my dashboard? How do I take care of my lights? How do I take care? When do I know if my tires are worn out? How do I know the mileage I've had? So there's so much knowledge about the same thing. So this value, creating this value, really for me, that's the visibility that you're looking for.
Now let's talk about we've talked about the situational visibility whereby now guys can come and feel the difference. Now let's talk about brand. For example, my kinyozi is called Cool Cuts Kinyozi. And of course the next kinyozi, maybe name like, Perfect Cut Kinyozi. Now, of course, in the work of social media, influencers and all those things, how can this young man now ensure that when a client thinks of shaving, she has cool cuts, but not the other one? There's not this aspect of after sale, extra sale, but now this brand.
The titling.
Absolutely. The titling, the placing, the colors, all those things. How can this person now go through that?
Anytime I sit down with someone telling me the business they want to be in or the business they're starting, my first question is, what problem are you solving? Because if you understand the problem you're solving, then you become creative on other ways to solve the same problem. For example, if you go to a place, someone opens up, as you say, kinyozi or shoes, or it's a clinic. What problem are you solving for the people? Most likely, there are other competitors around you. But let me tell you this. The other 9 competitors, they're just showing you another 9 different ways to solve the same problem. And this is the mentality of the competitor. Because sometimes you see the competitor as we're just trying to feed on one cake. No, look at how they feed on it. That is another way of doing it. Look at how the other person is doing it. That's another way of doing it. And in essence, this tells you this is another way to come up with a new product, a new service. Oh, those guys, after they do the massage, there's something they put on the head and it helps with baldness, blah, blah. Okay, we can include that. When the guys come here, we make sure they are not in their shoes. And after that, we help them do massage on their shoes. That's another way of doing it. When you go to that clinic, every end month, they offer a talk on lifestyle diseases and how to go about it. That's a value on it. So as much as you're thinking on the colors and stuff, the question is, what else will you be remembered for besides the transaction? Because the transaction is the money and I get the service. The impact that you give me beyond the 500 shillings I'm giving you, now that's the identity that you're building. The fact is, 90% of the time we make sales, it's emotional. You need to invest in the emotions. Because the emotions is now what people feel about your brand. When you hear the title of a certain brand, what comes in your mind? Most likely it's not how they look like, it's a part because of the description, but it's how they feel like. So when you hear someone has a problem, the common problem, the person who solves it in a unique value proposition way, then that's why you recommend them. Not because you've not been to other kinyozis, not because the person who dressed you, this is the first coat to wear. No, they called you. Before they brought the coat, they told you the details. Where will we meet? Their options. They send photos. They're asking you, can we iron it for you? You know, after some time, they're asking you, did you take it to the laundry? Before you take it to the laundry, remember to. So when you sit down, what do you think? Not about the money. The care they take care about you, the convenience for you. They know your tastes. So the next thing they're doing is, in their mind, when they see something that looks like you, they think about you and they match it up for you. So this is the value that I'm talking about. It's beyond the sales. And this is what builds the company culture, the company identity, the texture of the people that are working in that.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Now, any dynamics in a given market, when competition is tight, your rivals tend to come and snoop around what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, hey, this guy has some serious clientele here. What is he doing, or what is he doing?
Yeah.
And it's something that after that can be copied somewhere else. Yeah. Now, how can someone just make sure my technique, my quality cannot be transferred to anywhere else? Yeah.
An idea really has no patenting.
Yeah,
you cannot say this is my idea.
You can't patent it. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I want to mention that we know we build, or we are able to understand our potential, or we are able to know who we are by connecting the dots backwards.
Okay.
Remember at the opening of the conversation, I asked you, what's your history? What's in your CV? What are these things that have built you up to get to where you are? Most of the time we want to cut that off and start something new. But this is already a structure that can hold you up here. What can you bring in from your life? That's how you're able to create uncopyable brands. Because for me, to leave your CV, it means I have to stop living my life.
Sure.
And that means you will never run out of ideas, because at some point you worked at this place and got this exposure. At some point you had this skill. No one can sit down in life and be able to benchmark with you, and everything you have, they have. Where you grew up is another dynamic to bring in. What can you bring from the shags? What kind of hangings can you bring? What kind of, is there a tradition that you can borrow into the modern business? So when you ask me, how can I create a brand that others cannot copy? Don't be worried about being copied.
Yeah, sure.
Be worried about consistency.
Absolutely.
Because even when they copy, their habit is copying. So the next thing they'll do, their next assignment is another copy,
Yeah.
So they end up being a concoction, but you end up being pure of yourself, your identity, and the identity you're bringing to the business.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
The people who don't have these stores, they sell their stuff via either online, Facebook, or Twitter, even Instagram mostly. In fact, Instagram is so common. But you see, when you're looking for a suit, maybe a lady is looking for a dress, we find that the same things happen. Actually, it's just a cycle, whereby now the same selling techniques, free delivery within town, but there's an aspect of, there's a gap called now courtesy, whereby now when someone maybe DMs you and you want to know more information about this product X, there's an approach, the language.
Yes.
Does it really matter in this situation?
A lot. Yeah. Language is the currency before sales.
Okay.
And what we are talking about here mostly is marketing.
Okay.
Marketing is the efforts done to bring you to the sales table. So everything you do, even as a company, as Switch TV, whatever you do, all these campaigns, all these programs you bring in between, all these advertisement, internal, external, what you're doing is you're bringing the person to a face value, because that's your sell. When they're glued to your screen, that's your sell. So as you're trying to build this online, you need to have what you call policies and procedures in such a way, if a different person sat on that seat, sat on that machine, sat on that computer, responding to this person who wants to buy, they have a language that they've adopted, because this is the first person they meet in the company. I just want to buy, so I'm just meeting the company for the first time. Can we have a format of it? Can we have a message that is always the go-to? This is the first message you send. Then after that, follow the conversation. Why is this important? This is important because this is the impact part of it. The way you address me after I've tried to follow up on what you're selling could put me off, could make me make a sale.
Sure.
How comfortable you tell. And online is one crazy place, because the reality is very hard to get. Can you be true to your clients? Can you accept your shortcomings? Because if everyone is competing on the same line, what are they not accepting that you can accept? And accepting that actually brings more credibility to you. So online is it's the best place to be right now.
Okay.
We are talking about 5-point-something million Kenyans online.
Yeah.
This is the biggest market. Actually, if you're not online right now, then you don't exist.
You're in the dark.
You don't exist.
Yeah.
But how do we approach online? How do we create the campaigns? What are the choice of the copy? Copy meaning the words that we use here.
Sure.
Because word is more key. From words, then we have illustrations, we have videos, we have all these things. So as you think to set up a business online, the first thing you need to ask yourself is, what will I do that is not reinventing the wheel? So what have others done? Step up, get up there. Is there free deliveries? Yes. Is there? Yes. So now from here, what else can I do? What else can I up on top of this thing? If you have an application, can you labor to educate people more about it? If you have a product, can you labor more to explain more about it?
Sure.
So the investment, and this is what I call the value channels. It could be a YouTube channel. It could be a blog where you write. It could be graphics and infographics. Yeah. These are your value channels that others tap into, and they create a community around you. Because I have a reason to come back even when I'm not buying, then it means you're building a community. Yeah. Someone will always come back to feed on something. And that is the point you get to your business, and you're not worried about hitting sales that would give you margin for the month. Sure. Why? I got 4,000 people. Okay. And every week I have 2,000 coming back to consume on something. Yeah,
it's true that. Yeah. Now, as you're winding this up, must the campaign to push a brand start when you're starting the business, or maybe some people wait until now they hope for, like, let me start making profits and then now I'll start now pushing this brand. Which time is the best?
The best time is when you understand your business. Okay. Because you can be there for 10 years and you don't understand it. I sit down with entrepreneurs, and the first questions I ask them, they're like, okay. Because most of them, what they do, they have activities around the business, but they're not growing and developing the business. Yeah, sure. If we just go back to the first question of what problem are you solving, that on its own, it's able to demystify all these other things. You will not do some things because they don't solve the business. And when you're looking at product development, maybe you have a company and you have these 5 products. For product A, we need to market it on this streamline. This is the future of it. This does well on Instagram. This does well on these other places. So once you understand the products that you have, you understand your business. So anytime, and this is actually the biggest failure of business, when you're trying to sell your company in totality. Not everyone is interested in all the services you're selling. So can we find depth in each of the items that you're selling? Is there a profile for each and every product? Is there a page on your website for each and every product? Imagine it's your wedding day and you want to buy a suit, and the only thing this person has done on their website is just the description, size and color. But you find someone who's taken you longer. They're telling you about the texture. They even have a section where they talk about the kind of clothes you can wear for a wedding, and they give you all these options broken down. What do you feel?
Absolutely, I'll feel satisfied with the details.
Yes, because they've invested more into it. So what people don't do at the beginning of it is you don't invest much to ask enough from it. Because if you've not created these value channels around it, then you can't sit down and tell the company, you know what, I need 10% increase. Why will that happen? So the investment you do is equivalent to the kind of community you build around yourself.
Thank you so much, Bwana Paul Thani, for the insights. And trust me, some guys have learned a lot. Business is just not about business. Just
business is you need to learn everything.
You need to learn everything. Mistakes also part of the recipe. Sure. All right. I believe you've learned something, and some of the business guys, those who are willing or maybe looking for to start something small, please be very careful and just be conversant about brand visibility. Very important. Make people believe you. That's all I had for you right now on Morning Live. My name is Nick Mudimba. Be sure to join me later on tomorrow as we deal on other issues right here in the show. And of course, right now, Joyce Omondi is coming up next with Full Circle. Stay tuned.